Why, despite giving our all, have we achieved nothing? Why does the rule that hard work leads to success, which we practiced in school, seem to fail completely in society? The answer is actually quite simple. Choosing the right direction for our efforts is more important than sheer hard work. Under the mindset shaped by traditional education, most of our efforts are actually very inefficient and even ineffective. So what is effective effort? Here's an example from the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Once upon a time, there was a village that had almost no water source except for rainwater, so the village chief hired two people to solve this problem. One was named Ed, the other was Bill. Their job was to fetch and deliver water daily to the villagers in case of emergency. Ed signed the contract and immediately got to work. He bought two large buckets and fetched water from a lake 1 mile away, delivering it to the village. The villagers built a large water tank to store the water. Ed brought it. To keep the tank full, Ed maintained a steady pace every day, tirelessly fetching and refilling water. Despite the hard work, the village chief did not shortchange Ed. He earned a good amount of money each day. No matter how tiring or tough, Ed persevered, thinking that as long as he worked hard enough, he could earn more money and live a better life. On the other hand, Bill was quiet. Instead of fetching water daily, he spent his time observing or daydreaming in one corner of the village. Since he wasn't fetching water, the village chief didn't pay him, so he was left alone. One day, Bill had a brilliant idea. He told Ed, "We don't need to run such a long distance every day to fetch so much water. Why don't we lay a long pipe, with one end in the lake and the other in the village's water tank? I've observed that there's a clear slope from the lake to the village. With a little effort, we can channel the water from the lake to the village. This way, both the villagers and we will be free. Wouldn't that be a win-win?" Surprisingly, Ed was not pleased when he heard this. Instead, he became furious and scolded Bill. "You're delusional. How could such a thing succeed? You're just being lazy and unwilling to work hard." After rejecting Bill, Ed worked even harder at fetching water. He honed his water-carrying skills and replaced his buckets with larger ones to increase efficiency. He earned more, which made him feel content. Meanwhile, Bill disappeared. Where did he go? No one in the village knew. 6 months later, Bill returned with an engineering team and began constructing a massive stainless steel pipeline between the lake and the village. It turned out that during those 6 months, Bill had written a business plan, found investors, and raised a substantial amount of money using the water delivery contract. He planned to build a water supply system for the village. A year later, Bill's water supply system was complete. He began supplying water to the villagers 24/7 at a quarter of its price. The villagers were ecstatic, and soon Bill's system was in every household in the village. Ed, of course, didn't want to sit idly by. He called his two sons to help him lower his water price to affordable. Even with the three of them working tirelessly, they were no match for Bill. The business became unsustainable. As Ed lamented his fate, Bill was already thinking about replicating this model to more villages and even expanding it nationwide. Many years later, Bill could lie in bed watching TV shows all day and his income would still keep increasing. Meanwhile, Ed became a pipe maintenance worker in Bill's company, still struggling to make ends meet. But why did it turn out this way? Initially, Ed was the one who was more diligent and hardworking because they chose different types of effort. Ed's effort was like hunting. You take a gun out in the morning, shoot a rabbit you see, and you have meat to eat at night. The reward cycle is short. You quickly get returns for your effort, providing instant gratification. Bill's effort, on the other hand, was like farming. It requires planting in spring and harvesting in autumn. The task doesn't bring immediate returns and requires continuous investment of time, money, and even effort. But every action accumulates and yields more returns in the future. Therefore, the correct way to exert effort is not to work tirelessly day after day, but to think about how to lay a pipeline in your life. But wait, if the conclusion is so simple, why are there still so few people who succeed through their own efforts? Because in reality, Bill's project may run out of funds halfway, or the quality of the pipes might be subpar, causing the system to collapse. Even if the system is built, the villagers might have to relocate, leaving Bill not as a successful entrepreneur, but a complete failure of massive debts. What I want to convey in this story is not that you must choose a specific path to be correct, but rather to understand the different risks and rewards of different directions of effort, and then choose the one that suits your circumstances and goals. You can weigh both directions and still choose to go hunting the next day, because you can regularly get guaranteed returns and switch into the funds anytime. But if the overall environment deteriorates, you might struggle to find suitable opportunities to sustain your life. Alternatively, you can choose to start farming tomorrow, because a single grain sown in spring yields thousands in autumn. The downside is, if you don't have enough food reserves, you might starve before the crops mature. Or if you encounter bad luck or disasters, all your efforts might go to waste. Or even, you might have chosen the wrong land and seeds from the start, resulting in nothing after a year of hard work. This is the allure of an infinite gain. We always crave the success strategies of others. But behind every seemingly correct strategy lies a significant blind spot, the randomness that our efforts cannot offset. So given all this, what is the point of our efforts? In my view, the meaning of effort lies in the process itself, not the outcome. In our efforts, we actively explore and unleash our potential. If you ask Sisyphus, who pushes a boulder up a hill, what the point of effort is, he might tell you. Today, the boulder I push is 1 kilogram heavier than yesterday's. That's the meaning. Because the struggle of pushing the boulder up the hill is enough to fill a person's heart. So what constitutes effective effort? The right to define it lies solely in your hands. I wish everyone, in their battle with the world,